Good day. On November 29, the corridors of the Ukrainian authorities were rich in rumors and gossip. Zelensky said, it will take more than $1 trillion to restore Ukraine, and Kyiv plans to involve Western countries in this process, transferring regions and cities under their patronage. He added that the patronage system will allow countries and companies to engage in the restoration of a specific region, city, sphere or enterprise. Layout. The infrastructure war goes both ways. It's just that the armed forces of Ukraine do not have the ability to hit long distances across the territory of Russia, but where it gets it, it also hits bridges, power facilities, railway lines, etc. If there is an opportunity, then the armed forces of Ukraine will definitely hit the thermal power plant and state district power station in Russia. It's just that in the Ukrainian media, as well as in the Russian Federation, this is all called the destruction of related facilities that the army uses. Literally everything falls under this. Even a school, if there is a collection point for the defense, a service station where they equip pickup trucks for machine guns or shopping centers that can house warehouses for military equipment, which of course will not be reported to others. This is a dirty war, there are no rules in it anymore. Rumors. The source reports that Russia is moving into a long war. Tasks were set for the preparation of new reserves. There will be no haste in the offensive. Doesn't make sense at the moment. Most likely there will be local offensives in certain areas. The war of attrition begins. War strategy, Syrian scenario, plus total infrastructure war. According to our information, the Russian armed forces did not receive tasks from the Kremlin to completely disconnect Ukraine from electricity. At the moment, there is no such need. The task seems to be to constantly keep the energy case at 30 to 40% failure. Constantly adding work Bankova. Such a tactic of thousands of cuts. In this case, the armed forces of Ukraine need to constantly go on the offensive in order to shift the information focus from internal problems to military ones. Now the office of the President of Ukraine has the task of impressing people that victory is near. We must endure. The reality at the moment is much worse. The war will go on for a very long time. Further, conditional hunger will be added to all problems in Ukraine, when there will be a shortage of food. Zelensky is now selling all the food without stocking up on anything, although they are convincing people that there is enough for everyone. One hope for the office of the president is an internal split in the Kremlin, collapse, Maidan, then a new government that will sign the capitulation. This is the script they are working on. Let's see whose tactics will play. The game continues. Gossip. There was gossip that the office of the president was very concerned about the growing negativity towards Zelensky. Two strategies have been adopted. 1. To inspire the people that victory will soon be, we must continue to endure. 2. To shift the people's negativity towards the local authorities. Backstage rumors. On the sidelines there were rumors that the armed forces of Ukraine continue to send their soldiers to Poland, the Czech Republic, Britain for training. This takes a huge financial budget, which Western countries allocate partly on credit for Ukraine. The President's office is tasked with preparing a huge amount of new manpower for the spring offensive campaign. Now they are trying to knock out European tanks for the armed forces of Ukraine from Western partners, since by spring there will be a shortage of heavy weapons. Backstage rumors. Rumors circulated on the sidelines that Ukrainians massively began to weed forest plantations in order to provide their homes with firewood. People don't have money to buy firewood. Their value is now gold. The farther, the worse, and it has not yet been severe frosts. Gossip. There was gossip that from Ukrainian crypto millionaires are taking out the remains of mining equipment. They do not believe that Ukraine will have not just cheap electricity, but that it will even be available in the coming year. Everyone understands that problems will only grow like a snowball. It is worth soberly realizing that the help of the West will not be able to fully fill the need for transformers and equipment. The West is too greedy to give Ukraine constantly and in large quantities not only money, weapons, but now equipment for life, and soon they will also have to feed the whole of Ukraine. Inside. The source said that Zaluzhny reported to Zelensky about the difficult situation near Bakhmut. Russian troops again began to use the tactics of an artillery barrage and compare the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine with the ground. The situation is very difficult, but the Ukrainian army retains control over all supply routes of the city. Inside. The source said that the office of the president is not satisfied with the statements of the mayors of Kyiv/Lviv/Ivano-Frankivsk about the need for partial evacuation of the population. They do not want to sow panic on Bankovaya, and the regional authorities are at odds with the official position, which demonstrates the inadequacy of the central government in assessing the processes in the country. Rumors. The source reports that even millions of generators will not be able to solve the problem in the energy case in Ukraine with its constant failure. Also, The help of the West with the supply of transformer equipment, which will be destroyed or burned, will not cope with this. Now the cumulative effect of problems in the energy case is already affecting, which gradually triggers a systemic collapse. Dozens of transformers and power lines will burn on a permanent basis. There is no specific solution to the problem. It remains to be prepared for the worst scenario and stock up on everything you need. 3 people died from carbon monoxide in the Kharkiv point of indestructibility. A number of Ukrainian media wrote about this incident. However, in free Ukraine it is impossible to write something bad about the government. Therefore, the news about the point of indestructibility was promptly deleted, but the screenshots remained. This is direct evidence of how the authorities care about the security of Ukrainians. Even real stories are forbidden to print. Here, as it were, about power is either good or nothing. Rumors. The EU for 10 months of 2022 increased the import of liquefied natural gas from the Russian Federation by 42%. Opinion. Do you know what the West is really afraid of? That the US will lose its monopoly on brute military power. Previously, only the United States and those to whom they gave permission could arrange wars and seizures, collapses of countries with the help of revolutions, coups or proxy referendums. Kosovo is an example. Russia can break this monopoly if it succeeds in the Ukrainian crisis. Therefore, Washington gives Ukraine a lot of weapons and money, as they pursue their own goals, but hide behind the Ukrainians. In fact, Kyiv is fighting for the interests of Washington. As soon as they are achieved, then immediately the interest in the services of Kyiv will be completed. Everyone will forget about Ukraine, leaving it in ruins and with debts on loans. Ukraine will become European Africa, where the local population is uneducated and poor, and multinational companies are washing away resources for a penny. Analysis. In the last 2 or 3 days, Ukrainian politicians, officials and office opinion leaders have begun to scare that hundreds of Russian missiles are about to fly through the energy system, that you need to be ready. One gets the impression that they are either begging for the Russian Federation to hit, so that they can write off the brewing and sow systemic collapse in the energy system. Or are they so cunning that they just want to beat off Russia's desire to bang with such stuffing? Gossip. Corruption and chaos in the Ukrainian army remained. About good supply and high-quality uniforms, they only talk on TV, showing ostentatious special forces. Everything else is as it was. Only the situation is getting worse constantly, the months of war are taking their toll. There is such a scheme at the headquarters. According to the documents, hundreds of fighters are on the second line of defense, but in fact a couple of dozen. The rest are dead souls from the invoice to write off salaries and money for support. See you soon.